The cities that I design are the best I know up to now. But the new cities will be a straitjacket to the kids of the future. They'll design their own cities. And if you make a statue of me and honor me, that holds things back. Everybody can be Leonardo da Vinci if you know how to do it. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about that. When my kid came to me and said, Daddy, when he was 4 years old, the wheel came off my toy car. And I said, so it did. And I threw it in the garbage. And I picked up my paper and I'm reading it. But I'm watching him out of one eye, that lower lip. Oh, where? What's the matter? He said, you thrown it away. I said, I'll get you baby toys where the wheels don't come off. He said, well, maybe I can fix it. And I reached for it and gave it to him. And he's trying to get the wheel on. He gets it on. Then you pick him up and say, that's wonderful. How did you do that? He says, I'm not that little, Daddy. Well, that's when you encourage a kid. Here, let Daddy fix it. Let Mommy fix it. You produce a blob. Don't you see? So to make creative people, you never hold up the younger child and play with it while the 7-year-old's standing there with that lip out. And when the younger kid falls down the stairs, the 7-year-old has the grip. He's been treated unfairly. Mothers do not know today how to raise children. I wanted my child to learn to read. I never taught him to read. I used to read to him at night in bed. And I read to him about what kids are interested in. And then I go like the most interesting part of the book I told you. He said, Daddy, what happened? I said, look, if you learn to read, you can find out for yourself. You have to give kids a reason to want to read. A reason to want mathematics. Not today, 2 and 2 is 4, 4 and 4 is 8, and they rote memory like robots. If you really want them to think, you have to arrange conditions. They won't let any person touch a jet engine unless you go to school. Humans are much more complicated than any jet engine, and they'll let any mother raise a child which shocks the shit out of me. I can't understand that. Women will go to school and learn how to raise children. Let me give you another idea. When my little girl was 3 years old, she walked into my lap, and I put a wrench on her nut the wrong way, intentionally. It kept slipping. I put it on the wrong way again. She put her little hand on it and said, that's no way to do it, Daddy. I said, how about this? He said, no, I'll have to show you. She put it on the right way. The reason I did that is to get her to think about things, not just look at a daddy who knows everything. That's a bad way to raise children. Another time, I talked to my little boy about animals that he would be interested in. Then I said to him, how would you like to go to the zoo and see those animals? He said, wonderful, when? I said, next month. Next month? That's to give them a hunger for it. You take them there right away, you louse them up. So when near the end of the month, the kid was anxious as hell, and he was looking at all the elephants and rhinos with great detail. And I said, I have a business appointment in town. I can only stay another 5 minutes. He said, well, Daddy, this is interesting. I said, I'm sorry. I did not have a business appointment. And when I got that kid home, I put clay and drawing paper in his room. And he's making elephants and rhinos. Not very good, but there he is making these things. So I said, outside and play with boys. He said, but I like being alone making things. I said, outside and play. That's the story of Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo. None of them were raised normally. So you have to know what the conditions are that make what they call a genius. Today they say, just born that way. I guess I'm just a natural born artist. Artists, don't get mad at me now, are the most backward people in the nation because they think what they do comes naturally. Say, how come you can draw so well? I don't know, I guess I've just been drawing for years, but they don't know how to transfer the information. Sometimes a surgeon will give a student medic a scalpel and practice on a cadaver, and the student would sink in and out while he's cutting a line. And the professor would say, have you ever considered becoming a diagnostician rather than a surgeon? Well, really, I photographed this guy working, and he puts his hand on the body, sets the scalpel, and rises his fingers. That's how he controls the depth. So I showed that to that medical student. He cut perfect lines on the Gaddafi. So this doctor was amazed. How come you can do such a good job now? Yesterday you were lousy. Because he was a lousy instructor, but a good surgeon. There are many good people who are very good at things, but they're not good at transferring information. So I did an experiment with little girls, with the permission of their parents. I ran cowboy pictures for 2 weeks for little girls about 10 years old. And after about 2 weeks, the little girls would walk around on the ground. And that's all you see, that's all you do. Now this is more difficult to understand. If 3 or 4 effeminate women, I mean very effeminate, women talk differently, facial expressions, hands. Oh, did I see a gorgeous hat? Their facial motions, their hands are different. So if 4 of those women bring up a normal boy, he will say, oh, I'd like to go too. So, you see, people are shaped by culture. Nobody is born gay. Nobody is born any particular way. They say, well, I guess he just played with goddamn quivers. See, we don't know anything. We don't, not educated in school. We get mad at people. We put them in jail where they become super criminals. Jail is the worst thing you can do to a human being. So I want to tell you this, that I really would like to see a world without war. And I don't mean these guys who want to put a green roof on a building and a couple of trees. That is not the answer. The answer is the way we think and the way we look at the world. If you design a very good city and put normal people, normal means fucked up, into that city, you would have nothing but trouble. So before you move into the new cities, you're oriented to how that city works. You know, nobody's put in an airplane to learn to fly. They put them in a dummy plane. You move the controls. That's phase 1. Then you put them in a real plane. You show them how to check the tires, water and fuel. And if you want a doctor, you put them in a medical environment. You want a businessman, you put him in a business environment. You want a structural engineer in a structural engineering environment. That's what a university is. And people don't believe in environment. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Environment shapes everything. And everybody in America that I've known admires George Washington as the first president of the United States. What they don't know is George Washington was worth many millions of dollars, which is not bad. What is bad is he had 300 slaves. How many of you knew that? Not one hand. One hand. Right? Okay. So is George Washington good or bad? He's a bum. No good at all. Anybody like that. So all your presidents, all your congressmen are stupid individuals. Otherwise, they would try to bridge the difference between nations, not convert soldiers into killing machines. That's what a human soldier is. We would send them back to school as problem solvers, learn how to bridge the difference between nations. Now, I've said a lot of things, so I'll open this portion to questions. And please, don't be polite. If I fail to answer your question, say you didn't answer my question. Okay?
Everything is free. Drugs will be readily available as well. And even though there would be less reason to escape reality by using drugs, people are still curious and they would like to experience it. How would you deal with that? People getting addicted to drugs.
These gadgets don't work too good, so Roxanne will answer with that.
Okay.
Roxanne.
Right.
The question is?
Is this on? Yeah. Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, what I said was, when everything is free, drugs will be readily available as well. And even though there would be less reason to use drugs, because, well, they're all happy, how would this society deal with that problem? Because people are still curious and they would like to experience
Societies
drugs.
deal with drugs.
First of all, people make money selling drugs. You're aware of that. There's no money available in this society. So you can't sell drugs. No one would make anything, make any money.